That weighs probably about 65, 70 pounds. Most of our steamships are 45, 50. He's going to clean that up some to turn it into a steamship. That's the hind shank meat. Most of the hind shank meat ends up in ground beef for at the plant, either an 85-15 trim or some really lean stuff. Now you're handle on, shank off, handle on. We'll drop that. The steamships we sell, this one's a little big. I don't think the packers could even get this in a box. We're normally about 45, 55 pounds. You got to come out of about a 625 to 750 pound carcass will throw the steamship size that we need. This one's a little big for that. It's now flat cut, the rump's off, handles on, shanks off. Ready to carve. The packers will separate all this trim off. I mean, that's all headed to ground round, including the shank. Any sirloin trim all goes for ground sirloin. Any of the chuck trim, they'll separate it off for their ground chuck. And then if it qualifies for the CAB program, they'll separate and segregate that out also at the plant. So you've got certified trimmings going into your ground beef. The nice part about CAB ground products like chuck, sirloin, and round, it's all from choice cattle, and it's all young, 25, max 30 months old when the cattle are slaughtered. So any of this E. coli and a lot of the issues we've had with what's going on in that part of our business is all from old dairy style cattle, never should have been probably slaughtered, and they never make it to the food chain. You're talking 10, 11, 12-year-old animals that would never be brought in and sold as food product. And every time we have another instance of BSE, it's usually that's what happened. All cattle start out grass-fed. The calves are fed on grass after they're weaned. They move to what we call yearlings. They're brought up to close to one of the plants, and then they're feeder cattle or fat cattle cycled into the feed yards, and they're grain-fed for the last 150 to 180 days. Ideally, 180 days produces what we'd like to see is about 70% choice, 5% prime, and the rest being select. Unfortunately, right now we're looking at 50-50 select and choice, and about 1/2% being USDA prime. So that's why you're seeing the choice pricing that you are. It's way out of whack. This is your tip. This is what a grocery store sells as a sirloin tip. It's a peeled knuckle. Then you pull your top round or inside round, same thing, off. And because we broke this as a steamship, the rump was already taken off. So you've got a short gooseneck that's going to end up being your eye round and flat round. That's your top round. and that's your goose. The break on that will be your flat in your eye. Most of that goes into deli meat, corned beef, pot roast. That's your eye round. That's your eye round. Now we'll go to the forequarter. When you separate the rib section off, you've got the same deal on the ribs as you do the loin. He'll start with a 10-inch rib bone, which is a 103 rib. You'll drop it to a 3x4, which is a 107 rib. Then you'll take it and pull the cap meat out, which becomes a 109 rib. And a boneless lip-on is a 112. In between that, you have the export rib, or a 109E. And then you'll have a true ribeye roll. What he's pulling off there is the outside skirt, or part of the diaphragm there. And that same consistency on that skin and that membrane, that's what you've got wrapped around the hanging tender. The warmer the meat is, the harder it is to cut it. Yeah. Yeah, that membrane normally on one side will just rip right off.